may be destroyed by security services.
Hello, good evening and welcome to the Eastbourne to Milton Keynes Railtour Part 2. Today we're going to be taking a Class 87 from Acton main reception sidings on the West Coast Mainline up to London Euston. But being a Railtour, things are not quite going to go to plan. We might have to have a diversion down to London. We're going to be kicking off at 20:30 by your station clock, which should also be real time. So you've got about 8.5 minutes to get your drinks and light refreshments ready.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Mind the gap.
welcome to the Dad Rail live stream. We are going to be starting on time, which makes a change, at 20:30. So you've got about 4 minutes to get your tea and biscuits ready. This is going to be the Class 87 part of our rail tour from Eastbourne to Milton Keynes, doing the West Coast Mainline section today. So it should be a good one. But as with most rail tours, I'm sure things won't go to plan. We are having Locomotive Livery Location, and we had a steward's inquiry on the last one, so we have the results of that to reveal, and exciting news about a good stream coming on Saturday. So hang about, we are starting in just under 4 minutes.
Passengers are reminded that smoking is prohibited at all stations and on all train services. This includes e-cigarettes. Is a safety announcement. It is not permitted to cycle,
Hello, good evening, and welcome. Who have we got in tonight? Silent Pass, Ben P, Jake, Laserjet, Leo, Pig and Bob, SGT, FXSH, Ollie, Hello, how you doing? Tolworth Broadway, good to see you. Jackson's Trains and Bus Adventures through Susan's Eyes. And anyone that I've missed out, Tyler136, great to have you here. It is part 2 of our Eastbourne to Milton Keynes Railtour type thingy. So, before we jump in and begin the stream, I'm going to put the usual declaration on the screen. Hashtag early rail, we're doing well. All the views and opinions expressed within this video are my own, unless otherwise. Let's start again. But before we jump in, and as always, I've got to tell you that all the views and opinions expressed in this video are solely my own and may not reflect those of any companies I may be employed by or associated with. That's good. We are back on it. We're doing it right. Okay, fantastic. So, before we kick off with the stream properly, I have got a little bit of a confession to make. I should have some sad violin music going on. The last Locomotive Livery Location.
Let's
put
play
it on the screen.
Locomotive Livery Location.
We had this picture of a Class 92. Now, it says there GBRF Class 92 Carlisle. The steward's inquiry has revealed that I was wrong and I should be sending myself a tea and biscuits with a manager. That is not Carlisle. It is in fact Edinburgh Waverley. So my apologies to absolutely everybody who got that right or got that wrong. Yes, there was a management failing, so that is indeed Class 92 at Edinburgh Waverley. We are going to try again tonight, and today is a very special Locomotive Livery Location because today is actually going to be the 100th episode, or 100th edition of Locomotive Livery Location, I should say. Woohoo! Just waiting for that one to reset and we'll form the next one. If you've not seen this game before, we will play as we go along and I'll explain the rules. It's pretty simple. Rightio, let's press the buttons. So this week's picture has been sent in by GJ Barnard. Right, that is enough talking. Let's crack on with the game. There we go. Right, here we are. Okay, I do have this sort of scenario set up at the moment. So if you remember from last time, we're doing a Railtour service from Eastbourne to Milton Keynes. So the last bit of the journey, we took a 66 from Eastbourne to Brighton and then a 66 up to Clapham Junction, platform 17. Unfortunately, or platform 16 even, unfortunately we don't have the West London line modelled. So we are going to rejoin our Railtour at Acton Lane reception sidings, which is on the West Coast Mainline. So I have got this set up. By clicking here, it should all join us where we want to join. We are playing this in free roam mode. It's just a little bit of rule 1 going on as well, you know, kind of enjoying the game and just chilling and kind of using the free roam feature, which I think is a really good feature in the game. Rightio, so here we are in Acton Lane reception siding on the West Coast Mainline. So just off to our right is the West Coast Mainline, off to our left is Euston Euro Terminal. I actually brought a Railtour, or I was on a Railtour that come in here a little while ago for a loco swap, so that's my inspiration. So the plan was we were coming into Acton Lane reception sidings, and what was supposed to happen when we get into Acton Lane reception sidings is we were supposed to take the 66 off and put the 87 on. However, due to a problem with the overhead line equipment, it doesn't have any. It does in real life, I will add that. This is a game problem. Due to the fact there's no overhead line equipment, we can't add the loco here at Acton Lane reception siding. So Control have advised us we are to take the train down to London Euston. We are to cut the rear logo off and take it into the sidings. There will be a Class 87 waiting in the sidings at Euston. We're going to connect the 87 onto the train and take it up to Milton Keynes, stopping at Watford Junction. That is the plan. Hopefully it's going to work. So, are you with me so far? Are you with me so far? I will get around to answering your questions. I'm going to get cracking with the drive. And then we'll go through the chat. So, controllers have told us we're going to head back to London Euston. So, we're going to shut this cab down and change ends. Now, I do sign these in real life, so hopefully I know what I'm doing. Although they are different. Right, brakes are cut out. That is perfect. Direct brake released. Key is out, and we need to put reds up, which unfortunately to do that we need to go into the other cab. Not too much of an issue. Yeah, it's a little bit of an omission that the overhead line equipment's missing in Acton Lane reception sidings. So I didn't actually know about that before I decided we were going to do the loco change here to the 87. I mean, I think it would still work, but it's just, you know, it gives us a bit longer on the stream as well, and kind of makes it a little bit more interesting, I think. Right, we won't worry about the door. Springtrap, my local station is West St Leonard's on the Hastings line. Right, there we go. Reds are up. And we're going to walk correctly down this S. Acton Lane, Euston Euro Terminal to our right hand side. That's being used as a base for HS2 traffic at the moment. We have the boy. The boy has brought me my mandatory cup of tea. Say hello to the stream.
Hello, stream.
Thank you very much, Joshua. And we're using these lovely Intercity Mark IIs. Again, no central door locking, anything, so very much rule one. This would not happen in real life. It wouldn't work. Lewis Gates, hello. Andrew, how are we doing? Lawrence, roll on next Thursday. New DLC and my birthday. What's coming out on Thursday? Lawrence, I am that out of the loop. But happy birthday for Thursday. Right, okay, let's get into this end of the train. And sit down in the seat. Rightio. What are we going to do? Ah! That's rather annoying. Okay, we need to go in the other end and turn the safety systems on. I would not recommend jumping out of a Class 66 as well. They're quite high up. You should always maintain 3 points of contact when boarding or alighting from the locomotive. Okay, safety system on. Safety system on. DST isolate. Fantastic. Right, okay. Let's try again. Is this based on the one at Newcastle the other day, Rich? I didn't know there was one at Newcastle, Silent Past. Oh, yeah, no, I did see the thing about the German route, Andrew. Like I say, I'm really out of the loop at the moment. I'm sort of just getting back into the swing of things. So, yeah, I did see something about the German route. Okay. Daytime running, key in. We're going to put the straight air brake full on, recharge the train brake up to initial. We need to cut the brake in. Like I say, cutting the brake in and out when you change locos is a thing in real life, but there's a valve in the clean air compartment to do it. It's not something you do on the computer. There's a physical valve you have to go and operate. Ollie, hello. Springtrap, I'm not going to answer that, but I'm sure somebody else will. Rightio, so, taking full advantage of the free roam mode. We are... This says Euston reception sidings. These sidings are actually known as Acton Lane reception siding. Is it going to let me select my train? Okay, remove path. Confirm. And then we're going to set a path back towards London Euston. Now, hopefully, if I've done this correct, the loco I put in the sidings earlier is still there. Yes. Wow, that works. That is pretty cool. And we'll go into platform 1 at Euston. Confirming that as our destination. Right. Ground position light signal has cleared. We are diverting off route down to London Euston. Let's get the power in. Let me know if you need the game audio tweaking or not, guys. We can absolutely do that. Head out the window. Train is following as we would expect. Right, that red signal on the left-hand side there is for the down relief line. So that doesn't apply to us. A little bit discombobulating, same in real life. But that signal on the left there does not apply to us. This is where your route knowledge sort of comes in really handy. So our next signal there is the ground position light signal, which is showing 2 whites on the ground. Springtrap Pendolino has a new flyby sounds, Richard. They sound a bit better. Oh, we'll check that out. Rich, you can call me Leo. It's easier. No worries. I'll try and remember that. Ollie, yeah, I saw the message earlier where you said you broke your arm. Really sorry to hear that, bud. I hope you're on the mend soon. Doing a science experiment of all things. That's Can you tell us more? I'm interested to know. But yeah, I hope you're feeling okay, my friend. I hope the Wi-Fi in the hospital's pretty good. Right, okay, so coming out of Acton Lane reception siding number 1. And we should have another ground position light signal just around the corner here. Just before the Acton Lane reception siding lines join the Euston Euro terminal lines. And we can see that our next signal is showing 2 white lights, which is exactly what we want. Lewis, I would love for you to do an ETCS rules knowledge video. Could you look at that once you are trained on it? Yes, I've done no training on ETCS. I know a little bit about it. I've been a little bit involved in the project, but I've not done any sort of formal training on it. But it's something, when I do get my training on it, something I can definitely look at doing. Not a problem at all. Three Seasons Eyes was asking earlier about the train driver rules videos. Again, and I'm just going to keep giving the same answer. I really want to do them. It is just finding time at the moment. How are we doing, Owen? Good to see you here. Paul Crease. First live stream I've made in ages. Yeah, we've not seen you for a while, Paul. Hope you've been well. Are you going up to Key Model World again, Paul? I'm definitely heading up to that this year. Right, UF as we come across West London Junction. The lines round to our right are known as Southwest Sidings. That will take you around to Acton Wells Junction. From Acton Wells Junction you can get down to Acton Mainline on the Great Western Line, or you can carry on down to Richmond, or you can pick up the Wessex lines at Chiswick or Brentford, depending on where you're going. So coming across West London Junction now, the lines to our far right is the up and down southwest. The next line over is the goods line. The line directly to our right now is the down West London. We are currently on the up West London, about to cross onto the whatever line because I don't sign the West Coast Mainline. Mystic Gaming, have I ever pulled a Railtour before? I've worked empty coaching stock, but I've not driven a Railtour myself. A lot of the Railtour work sort of tends to go on seniority, which is probably the way it should be, to be fair. So unfortunately, my seniority isn't in such a place where I get involved in too much of that at the moment. Dave, I'm good, thank you. How are you? Springtrap is the Class 73 a tap changer locomotive. It's not a tap changer as such, but it's very similar in the way it's driven. It's probably a little bit more complicated than the 86 or 87, I should say. Yeah, definitely, Paul. I'm really looking forward to it. Okie dokie, right, let's checking the back of the train is all following. I've noticed there are some really weird suspension type things going on with this Class 66 as well, so it's a little bit odd. And I don't believe the speed limit here is 15 miles an hour. There we go, 90. Although 66s are limited to 75 miles an hour. Looking forward to the payday pizza tomorrow. Oh, me too. Probably be an Indian for me though. Not a pizza. Probably be an Indian. Right, Whiskey Mike 124. Showing proceed as we enter whatever tunnel this is. Again, I don't sign this section of route, so I'm not going to pretend to know. And what we're going to want to do is just do a running brake test. Let's put our instrument lights on so we can see what we're doing. So once we get above 30 miles an hour, I'm just going to shut the power back. Let that power come back. Check the train's rolling as we would expect. That's known as a roll test. And then just apply initial brake. And I want to see a reduction in speed of about 10 miles an hour. And what I'm doing, I'm just basically checking the brakes are functioning correctly. Checking the braking characteristics of the train, so I know whether I've got good brakes, bad brakes. And that's going to sort of tell me how I need to drive the train for the rest of the journey. Right, brakes are off. Let's rock and roll. We get it. Pizza in the office every payday. Sounds like a shout. Andrew, when did the 66 become a tilting train? I know it's the suspension on this is all over the place. Ollie, I broke my arm because something in the science lab collapsed. Oh crikey! And it was hard metal. My girlfriend was crying because she won't see me for a long time. I hope she'll notice I'm okay. Oh Ollie, that's really bad. I'm really sorry to hear that. I hope it is just the arm, and I hope you will be on the mend soon, my friend. That's I'm not a nice situation at all. Not a nice situation. Leo Lowe, if the brakes aren't working, probably change your pants. No, in all seriousness, if I put the brakes on and the train's not slowing down or not doing what I'm expecting it to do, my first port of call is going to be to whack that emergency stop button, and I'm probably going to apply the straight air brake. I'm just going to chuck all the brakes it's got. I'm then going to want to tell somebody about it. So on the GSMR radio, if you've seen my GSMR radio rules video, you've got a red button and the yellow button. So the red button is the railway emergency group call. Now, if you can't stop your train, that's an emergency. However, when you press the red button on the radio, what it does is it tells every single train in the area stops. So they all get a message and every single train stops. If you've got a train in front of you and you press that red button, do you really want the train in front of you stopping if your brakes are not working? Probably not. So depending on the situation, you're probably going to hit the yellow button on the radio. And you can also sound a train in distress tone on your horn. So long blasts on the high tone of the horn is train in distress. If you ever hear a train coming along sounding continuous blasts on the high tone, you know something's not right. Springtrap, we should have had a Class 92 locomotive for the Caledonian Sleeper. Yeah, that would be really cool. It'd be really great to get some more locos in the game, especially some more modern locos. Rightio, we've got a 55 coming up. I think we're just approaching Primrose Hill area. Like I say, I'm completely out of my route area, this is. When we get down to London Euston, we're going to shunt the 66 off the other end into the sidings, pick up the 87, and we're on the wires all the way to Milton Keynes. Let's see if we can get a bit of a flyby shot. Looking good. Yeah, it's just a shame we don't have that. So we've got the North London line add-on coming. It's just a real shame we don't have that that connection in the middle between Clapham Junction, the West London lines between Clapham Junction and Euston High Level. If we had that, you could do so much with in terms of rail tours and freight services. I know you've kind of got to jump out the game and reload it, which is fine, but it would open up so many possibilities for what you could do. Likewise, if you had the bit down to Richmond, you could then have the spur down to Acton Mainline, and you could link up with the Great Western routes. It would open up so many possibilities, sort of what you could do. BMW M3. Now, I don't think we've got the problem with the lighting on the rear 66 because this is a West Coast Mainline is a train scene World 5 route, so the lighting sort of stuff works as it should do. Yeah, Ben, I think the sleeper train's been diverted up the East Coast due to engineering work at the moment, so doesn't happen too often, I don't think. Lewis Gates, do freight services have an equivalent of a POIS sheet like passenger services? I've not heard that terminology before, Lewis. What does POIS stand for? That's not terminology I've heard before. Dave, could you answer the GSMR question? Where is that one, Dave? Post that one again, Dave. Oh, there we go. I've got it. Dave, Richard, I'm in game. The GSMR goes blank after a short time. It doesn't happen in real life. That is a fault in the game. It's something that I've spoken about a fair few times. Something that I've picked up on. It's rather annoying, but yeah, that unfortunately is a fault with the game. Right, we are slowly making our way down to Euston. Very slowly because I'm paying more attention to the chat than I am my driving, which is cool. Passenger Operation Information System. No, there's nothing like that on freight, Lewis. Right, 2 yellows. I am literally crawling around. This is poor excuse for a drive. Yeah, I see what you mean about the sounds on the Pendolino. They do sound pretty nice there. Rightio, we are one yellow going on to a red. I tell you what, let's play our first round. Let's get those numbers in for Locomotive Livery Location. If you've not seen this game before, post your numbers between 1 and 36. And I'm going to pick the third number that comes up on my screen. You'll soon get the hang of it. Okay, one yellow, we are going into A section. And we are red ahead. Hopefully we're not going to wait too long for a platform. Does still have some weird lighting things going on. Pig and Bob, there wasn't any sound. Interesting. Right, okay, let's do that again.
Post your numbers now for Locomotive Livery Location.
You probably didn't get the clapping sound effect at the start of the stream or anything then. Right, let's get stopped at this red. The third number on my screen, just to prove that I'm not cheating here, is going to be Manorm 2003 with number 21. There we go, that's the third number that I can see. So we are going to be going number 21. Signal has stepped up to one yellow. I'm wondering if we're going to be able to see the 87, 86. Keep getting those mixed up. It's berthed off in the sidings to the left. There it is! Oh, ouch. That'll give you a headache. Right, okay, platform 1. Let's do this.
Let's play Locomotive Livery Location.
Okay, I'm going to give you box number 21. 10 seconds for the Locomotive Livery Location, if you can. That's a good one to start on. What is it? If you can get the location from that, you're a better person than me. What is it? Where is it? Hey, David Drive 66. How are we doing? Good to have you here. BMW M3 Touring. What's my favourite TOC of all time? I don't really have one. Connex South Central. I don't really have one, to be fair. I think Virgin Trains were pretty cool. I think Virgin Trains had a... I used to like the livery on the Voyagers and the Pendolinos. But yeah, as for favourite, I don't really think I've got one. Justin D, no, I haven't got a rail driver controller. It is something that I have thought about buying one, but I haven't got one. Train Boy, thank you very much. Just sent you a photo on Instagram for Locomotive Livery Location. Awesome. I will check that out and see if we can get around to using that on the next one. Right, Jack Hayward says it's a 56. BMW Touring says 90. Springtrap and Manorm 2003 have all gone with 37s. Northern Princess Productions, hello. We have done the official apology for last week's discrepancy, shall we say. And our Railtour is slightly off route. We were going to have a loco stop in Acton Lane reception sidings, but it appears in-game Acton Lane reception sidings doesn't have any overhead line equipment. So therefore we've had to make... Control have made an executive decision and they've told us that the 86 is berthed. The 87 is berthed in the sidings at London Euston, and we have to take the tour to London Euston and pick up the train. Oh, through Susan's eyes, that doesn't sound too pleasant. I am proper driving Miss Daisy here. 156 Andrew, hello, how are we doing? Great to have you here. Come on, keep pulling us forward. There we go. TBWS loops there as we approach the buffer stops. We want to make sure we're under 10 miles an hour. Ian, to be fair, class 43 HSTs, the acceleration on them isn't all that brilliant. Just make sure you've got all your brakes released on there. You've got your brakes fully released and your parking brakes released. Yeah, LaserJet 87. That's the one I mean. Travels with me. Hello, how are you doing? Yeah, Northern Princess Productions. The way Locomotive Livery Location's set up, if I reveal that picture again, it's gonna, yeah, it's complicated. I can do it at the end of the stream when we reveal the one we've got going on now. Right, we should be 6 foot from the buffer stops, but we'll absolutely take that. Okay, so the plan is to shut this locomotive down. So we are going to go to brake cutout, select, cut out. So now this locomotive effectively comes what is known as dead in tow. It's basically just a wagon at this point. Reverser handle out, straight air brake is off. Lights off. Excellent, great stuff. Right. So, time for some shunting. And we'll make sure we shut the door, although so many 66s drive along with the doors open. We will jump in this cab and do the lights. Again, I've said it before, this is a bug. You don't, 66s, the lights don't work like this. The local switch operates the local lights. Come on, close the door. Yeah, Springtrap, I wouldn't mind a 70. I do like them. Hey, Sam's Autistic Travel Adventures, how are we doing? Yeah, Lewis Gates, double blocking is relatively common, where you've got reduced overlaps on signals. So yeah, quite a few places have got it. BMW, definitely, if we're going for a Class 70, I'd probably want it in either Colas or Freightliner Green. Right, so we are going to leave the coaches here. We are going to try and find the right place to click to get the Buckeye off. Come on, please, pretty please. Come on. Where's the coupler bar released? Okay, this is a little bit awkward. Let's try doing it from the other side. Wouldn't recommend doing this in real life. Buckeye unlocked. There we go. Definitely wouldn't want to be standing here in real life. Up the ladder. And let's go and get into our cab. There'd be all sorts of other rules and procedures here, so if we were leaving these coaches in the platform for too long, we'd want to make sure they've got parking brakes on them. Something to stop them rolling away would be pretty helpful. Depends on how long you're leaving the coaches for. A lot of places there's kind of like, you know, if you run round's done within 60 minutes, you don't need to do anything with them. Right, brakes are cut in. Let's put the safety systems on as well, even though we're only taking it up to the sidings. Into neutral, and we are now light engine. Now when you're light engine on a Class 66, depending on your company's operating instructions, you still should not be using the straight air brake. You should still be using the train brake. The only time the straight air brake should be used is if you're shunting in yards and sidings. Anytime on the main line you should use the auto air brake, regardless of whether you're light engine or you've got a train on. Right, okay, so set path. We are going to go up to Euston siding number 1. So in terms of siding numbering, this is quite interesting. The siding closest to the running rail is always referred to as siding number 1. So Euston siding 1 because it's closest to the main line, and then so on and so forth. And we're going to set the destination, Euston siding number 1. And there we go, we've got the position light signals come off. Into forward. And marker lights are on. We can put the tail lights on as well because that will do the back cab on this one. And let's go and get ourselves some proper traction. QGIS Master, what is double blocking? So double blocking is effectively where you have a junction and you've got a red signal before the junction. But if a train was to go past that red signal, if it was to spad that red signal, it would be across the junction. It would be causing an obstruction if a train was coming the opposite direction. So double blocking is where you would have the junction signal at red and you'd have the signal before that at red. So that basically forces the train to slow down. As the train approaches, we've got 2 white lights and S1. As the train approaches the first red signal, that would clear to single yellow and then the train would proceed up to the junction signal. And like I say, the reason we do that is so you're not flying towards a red signal, stupid speed with an insufficient overlap before the junction. When I get onto train driver rules videos, that's something I'm going to pick up a little bit more on. WMBE, hello and welcome, new subscriber. Nice to be got a Pendo going out past us. Yeah, someone was saying about... I'll let the Pendo go past. Yeah, someone was saying about acceleration there. They do take off when they're light engine. So if you're driving light engine, again, depends on your company driving instructions, but a lot of companies will mandate that you've got to use a lower power notch. So some companies will say, like, if you're driving light engine, you can't use more than power notch 4. And part of that is to save fuel because you don't need to be taking more power than that. Yeah, the new sounds on the Pendolino are pretty decent, to be fair. The AWC Pendolino goes up the inside and takes the lead. And there is our loco that the shunt drivers brought down from Wembley for us and just left it there. They were going to work it into the station for us, but unfortunately they've gone home because they're over hours. And because of the overhead line equipment problem in Acton Lane, it's a very last minute thing. Control have done their best to keep the Railtour going, keep the book traction on it. And we are stopping 6 foot away from the buffer stops. Right, okay. So we are now going to leave this locomotive unattended. So, we're going to destroy the brake. We are going to into neutral, key out. And what we want to make sure is we put our parking brake on. So we're going to press and hold that until the... I think the indicator might be faulty there. It kind of says on, off. So press and hold that till the parking brake comes on and then... The engine has unexpectedly shut down. It hasn't. I've just shut it down. And make sure the straight air brake is fully released. So, doopy-doopy-doopy-doo. Right, okay. So that is absolutely fine. So what we're going to want to do now is come out this side of the train, or the locomotive. And before we walk away from a locomotive that we're berthing, we're going to physically check the parking brakes applied. So that chain there is the parking brake chain. So when the parking brakes applied on a Class 66, that chain is going to be really tight. So we're going to come and physically check that chain is tight. And then we're going to come here and we're going to flip that round. That's going to take the battery out and that locomotive is then dead. Now, what we're also going to want to think about doing, because when we take the battery out, we're going to have no illumination on this end of the train. So what we'd also want to think about doing is putting like a portable tail light or something on the front of it so there's still some illumination on it. Anyway, there it is. What a beautiful machine. I love the animation as you climb in as well. That is very good. It's very good. Right, so we're going to pretend that this locomotive has been prepped. In real life, you'd have to walk around this locomotive, do a full outside 360 check and everything else. So we're going to pretend it's only been sitting for about 10 minutes and the previous driver's left it all cut in and ready to go for us. Rightio, so we've got the line light on. The parking brake should be... I left the parking brake on when I berthed this here earlier. Rightio, not a problem. Straight air brake full on. Charging up the brake pipe, waiting for that to come up to 5 bar. We've got our line light. We are good to go. Right, let's get a pathway. So this is the equivalent of phoning up the signal and requesting a pathway. So we're requesting a pathway out of siding number 2. And we're going on to our traffic in London Euston platform 1. So, master switch to forward. And the lovely sounds of the transformers firing up there. And... oh! I do like the sounds on this, they are nice. Yeah, Andrew, depends on the situation. So sometimes we'll shut the locos down, sometimes we'll leave them. So if they're going to be berthed and they're not going to be used for a few hours, like a light engine like that, we would probably shut it down. If that was being moved again in the next couple of hours, we'd leave it running. There are also environmental concerns with it as well. So not so much pollution, but noise. So if you're in a residential area, you sometimes certain yards and sidings have got instructions where you can't leave things running for more than 20 minutes and you've got to shut the engines down. $15 miles an hour. Oh, the weather's just turned horrible all of a sudden. Right, 2 white lights on the ground. We've got 2 white lights there. And our MARI, which is miniature alphanumeric route indicator, is showing platform 1. Which is good because that is where we left the train. We probably should have turned some lights on as well before we started. Marker light. Marker light. Where's the headlight switch? Oh, never mind. We won't panic about it too much. Hey, Roy Michael Taylor, how are we doing? Good evening from Derbyshire. Good evening from sunny Sussex. All Things Buses, hello. And we're going on to traffic here as well, so we just need to be aware of that. Stopping 6 foot short of the traffic is the standard. And I am using the locomotive brake on this. I don't... like I say, on 66s you're not allowed to use the locomotive brake on the main line. On most other types of traction you are. And what we'd also want to have made sure we've done is put a portable tail lamp on the back of the coaches here. So we would have had some illumination, especially coming in this sort of weather. There is a train here, unless it's magically despawned. There we go. Yes, you definitely want some sort of illumination on the back of that. And we want to be stopping 6 foot away roughly. And then that's a... Are we taking that as 6 foot? That's a very generous 6 foot. That's a gentleman's 6 foot. We don't need to stop again before we go on. I'm just not very good at this. And because we're connecting... Actually, no, I've just told you a lie. Because we're connecting Buckeye to Buckeye, we should be stopping at 6 foot and then 2 foot before we go on. And then what we're going to want to do is just take it into reverse. Come on. Off, there we go. That does help. Why won't you let me go into reverse? Okay, that's really odd. I won't let me go into reverse for some reason. I'm not sure why that is, but... oh, there we go. Maybe we got reverser lock. There we go. Right, so we're going to just want to do a pull-away test. So just take a notch of power. And brakes off. Yep, that's not supposed to happen. We're going to have to give it another go. I tell you what, let's just make sure we have got... Yeah, we've got... Oh, okay, yeah, that's not going to work, is it? Can we drop the Buckeye on the coaches? Hey, we can. Excellent. So now... Oh, crikey. Oh, come on, let me in. Right, so... That's a little bit better now. Hopefully we should now be able to couple up. Let's give it another go. The shunter didn't have it configured properly. Wallop. That's got it. Right. And then off. Come on. Off. Key off. Brake pin up. Handle round to shut down. Locomotive brake off. And we're going to make sure the lights are turned off as well. So marker light off. Marker light off. Change ends handle into the off position. Door shut. And we're going to want to get down and couple it up. There we go. Awesome. Great stuff. Rightio. So what's going to happen in reality now is we're going to do a brake continuity test. So we're going to charge the train up at the front, and the shunter's going to basically open the brake valve at the rear of the train. Just check that we exhaust all the air. Hey Wayne, train lover, how are we doing? Yeah, Jack HST 87s are definitely not Buckeye. I've just learned that the hard way. I've just smashed up the front of the loco by trying to put it onto a Buckeye coach. Okay. There we go. Someone's left the door open. It's foggy in the cab. That's probably not supposed to happen. Rightio. Shunting done. AWS unisolated. Handle up. Get some lights on this. Marker light on. Marker light on. Headlight on. And we're going to put our instrument lights on as well. Mustn't forget to do that. Instrument light switch. Key on. Locomotive brake on, and we charge the brake pipe up to first application, otherwise known as initial. I know it's foggy in the loco. I mean, since when has that been a thing? I don't want to have to like reset the simulator because that would be really annoying. Okay, let's get a pathway set. So, Control have pulled it out the bag. They've done a really good job there. So we are going to head up to our first station stop, which is going to be Watford Junction on this service. And do you know what? We'll route onto the slow lines at Watford Junction, I think. Confirm. Excellent. Now, how are we going to know if the signal's off? We can't see the signal because it's too foggy. Sometimes we're going to have off indicators or banner repeaters on the platform, which are going to help us. If we can't see the signal, then we're just going to get on the radio and ask the question. It's as simple as that. Right, okay. Railtour is ready to depart. We will play Locomotive Location Livery in a minute. Richard, you need to ping the Discord when you go live. Amy, the reason I haven't done that is... So I've had a bit of a computer issue in so much that my hard disk drive gave up. So I've put a new disk drive in and I haven't got around to reinstalling Discord yet. Unfortunately, I didn't lose too much data because I do have a network attached device which backs everything up. But it does mean I now have a solid state disk instead of a hard disk drive, and it has improved the computer performance quite a lot. Yes. Rightio, I'm going by the HUD, but we have got a green signal down there. Just about see that shining through the fog. Well, I was hoping to get a flyby shot, but that sort of failed epically. And we got a B for B section. No idea how fast we're going, so I'm just going to run down the power and shut it off. Belt and braces approach. And hopefully the 66 has got reds on it. It's got headlights on the front of it as well, which is not good, but hey ho, we're alright. Rightio, let's press the button.
Post your numbers now for Locomotive Livery Location.
Spaceful, how loud is the AWS in real life? Good question. Loud enough, generally speaking. Yeah, it's not deafeningly loud, but it's loud enough. Let's get a couple of notches of power in there. 156 Andrew, what does the B mean on the signal? So that's going to come down to your route knowledge. So in this case it means we're going out on B section. So you can have, as you can see above the signal gantry there, just about you've got A, B, C and D. So we're going out onto B section. We're going over to C section. But that's going to be a route knowledge thing. There's no kind of this means that and that means that. It's going to be down to the individual signal and your route knowledge. Okay, Locomotive Livery Location. Third number on the screen is Pig and Bob there with number 13.
Let's play Locomotive Livery Location.
So, as you know, guys, going to give you number 13, 10 seconds for the Locomotive Livery Location, if you can. What is it? Where is it? Let me know your thoughts. Haha, GJ, yeah, it's thank you very much for joining, bud. Yeah, thanks for the LLL picture. So we've got a D on that one, which means we're going to be going over to D section. The fog has finally cleared out the driving cab. Springtrap's gone 55, Tower Broadway 37, 156 Andrew double 37, BMW 56, West Coast Mainline. Northern Princess Precious, pair of West Coast 37s on Blue Mark 2s. AWS horn going off. What are we cancelling it for? It's important for us to understand. We've got a green. We've got a position 1 junction indicator. And we've got 14 miles to Watford. Okay, so I alluded to it a little bit earlier on if you were here. Saturday, on this very channel, 8:30, we are going to be doing, the stream I have promised for a little while, we are going to be doing backwards to Brighton, which should be quite an interesting one, so hopefully you can join me, 8:30 on Saturday. Effectively what we're going to be doing is the Brighton Mainline, London Victoria to Brighton, driving backwards, HUD-less. Seeing if I know the route so well I can actually drive it backwards. Should be quite good. Top 5 check, gotta love the British weather. Jaden has gone class 37 Birmingham New Street. Did I turn the... I did turn the gauge lights on, they're on dim. Yeah, headlight is on. That's a fantastic headlight. Not unrealistic. Class 73's really poor headlight on them, so it's not unrealistic at all. It is unrealistic for me to be going so slow. Cool, the lighting effects are pretty good there. Oh, you can hear those taps. Click, 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 click. Northern Princess Productions, now I've got the SSD, I'm running out of excuses not to reinstall all my AB content and just Trains content and do some Train Sim Classic. I appreciate that, Jaden. I think it's the first time I've seen you in a live stream, so yeah, great to have you here, my friend. QG Ice, to be fair, there's some AWS bugs in real life as well. Hey Martin, how are we doing? Good to have you. Just got in from work. Hope you had a good shift. Oh, it's much better than driving a 66. Has the West Coast Mainline South got neutral sections modelled on it though? Does anybody know? And the other thing we're going to want to do is just a running brake test as well, make sure the brakes do work. Love the sound of the taps clicking. I didn't notice how good the sounds were when I was driving this on the Preston to Carlisle. I don't know if it's had an update or something, but it does sound really good. And just a little cheeky running brake test there, just make sure the brakes are working. Especially as we put a new locomotive onto the train. There we go, roughly a 10-mile-an-hour reduction in speed, that's what we're looking for. And the brakes are fully off, we're good for 85. Let's run that power up. Oh, Jaden, Adam, yeah, a 220, 221 I think would be a really good addition. Cross country, I mean they run on quite a lot of routes. Sort of high speed demu, yeah, definitely. Trains at the station, class 60s, absolutely love them. We got the Acura scale 00 ones coming out and the Cavlax ones. I think they arrived at Rails of Sheffield today, I saw an email. So probably one of my favourite classes of loco. Never driven one, but I do like them. Hey Ben P, no worries my friend, thanks for joining us. John, what is a neutral section? So a neutral section is a section of the overhead line which effectively has no power in it, so it's completely neutral. And the idea of that is it divides up the electrical sections. So one section of a route will be controlled by, or it divides it up so you can switch them off separately. So if the overhead line was continuous all the way to, you know, London to Scotland, you needed to turn it off. You'd have to turn off the whole section, London to Scotland. So what you have is neutral sections in between, which break it up into sections. So you can turn off just part of the overhead line equipment as you need to. Right, we are back up at Acton. It's a shame the weather's terrible. This is not as nice to run as I was hoping it was going to be. We are good for 110. I think the yeah, the 87s are good for 110. I think Mark 2s are okay for 110, maybe. It's rule 1. Trains at the station, it doesn't have any neutral sections. Okie dokie, now we know. Right, let's get it round into Wakefield. We're having a bit of Wakefield action, a bit of Saturday night. Wakefield. Yeah? Come on, you're old enough to remember. Revolution have announced they are making a class 99 for 00 gate. Oh, I'm going to have a look at that. Amy, Mark 2s are 100. Okay. Good to know, Amy. Good to know. Ah, Northern Princess Productions has just raised a really good point. So I'm gonna do a bit of backside covering here. In reality, on this train, you would have something known as a tops list, and the tops list would tell you the maximum speed of the train. So I was asking there about Mark 2s. Mark 2's good for 110. Amy's just said they're good for 100. What I've completely failed to disregard is the fact we have a 66 on the back, and the maximum speed of a 66 is 75 miles an hour as we pass through Wembley Central here. So the maximum speed of this train is dictated by the slowest vehicle in the rake. So we shouldn't be doing more than 75. But hey, we're playing Rule 1. We're playing Rule 1 today. Yeah, that's definitely... I can't find the button. That's definitely... definitely gets tea and biscuits. Yeah, I know. I drove the 66 in. Oh dear, oh dear. Right, let's press the button.
Post your numbers now for Locomotive Livery Location.
High demand biscuiting. I think we have to come up with something. I mean, tea and biscuits for the manager sort of doesn't really work anymore, does it? Those that know, know. That's all I'm going to say. .66 is definitely clinging on for dear life. Okie dokie, on the numbers game. BMW, you are first. Daniel, you're second. Ian Bradley, you're third with number 5.
Let's play Locomotive Livery Location.
Going to give you number 5. 10 seconds for that Locomotive Livery Location. I think this one's too easy. I think you're done. I think we've finished. I think we'll just go home now. Anybody not got it at this point? 3 boxes in. Anybody not got it? Oh dear, oh dear. Right, we have got our speed down to a more reasonable 75. And we will try and do this flyby shot. Doesn't look as good in the fog though. CJE94 Railways, I've not got it. Winky face, yeah. 0.8 Euro Phoenix 37. Olympian Transport, I don't know where. What else have we got? Olympian Transport, West Coast Railways 37 somewhere. Lawrence Adams, I didn't have tea and biscuits, I had coffee and cake with my manager when I was training. Coffee and cake is fine. Coffee and cake is where you want to be. Coffee and cake is the good thing. Tea and biscuits is not so good. Yeah, that 66 has its headlights on. That's a 66 type bug thing. Not much I can do about that, unfortunately. Trains at the station. West Coast Railways Class 37 hauling blue Mark II's passing East Midlands Parkway. We haven't done the Midland Main Line for a little while. That's not a bad shout. We might have to give that one a go again soon. GJ has just made a very good point. There are only 3 things certain in life: death, taxes, and tea and biscuits with the manager. It's not wrong. It's not wrong. It's not wrong. Right, we're driving Miss Daisy style again. Still 4.2 miles to Watford. Let's get a bit of power in. It's Sam Plays. Hello, how we doing? Tad Rail Law is expanding. Coffee and cake is good. I wonder when we do backwards to Brighton how many instances of tea and biscuits with the manager there'd be. I mean, in theory, the whole thing is tea and biscuits with the manager, and probably a very long meeting with the ORR and RSSB and the British Transport Police. Oh dear, oh dear. Excuse me. Yeah, not too bad. It's Sam Plays. Not too bad at all. Hey Connor, how are you doing, my friend? I haven't seen you around for a long time. I've been at the mothership for the last couple of weeks as well. Richie Rao, coffee and walnut cake. Ooh. Coffee and walnut cake is good, is good. But we are inclusive here. We do appreciate that some people do have nut allergies. So just coffee cake on its own. Right, 3 miles to Watford. Really don't want to overshoot this. No, it's Sam Place. So the Railtour service I'm driving now is just using the free roam mode that's built into the game. So this is not a scenario or anything. I mean, it'd be really good if you could create scenarios. I mean, I suppose if you use the public editor, you probably can, but you kind of need to have a degree in computer science to be able to use that. But yeah, it's just kind of something I set up for a little bit of fun. Right, okay, AWS, 2 flashing yellows, fantastic. Flashing yellows means we are going to be taking a diverging junction. I expect that will be because we are crossing over. So I'm expecting my signalling sequence to be 2 flashing yellows, 1 flashing yellow, 1 static yellow, a junction indicator, and then red. So slowing down for that. Soon that 50 is going to be for the crossover. Victoria Sponge for me. Oh, lemon drizzle cake. Do you know what? I'm on a 1 flashing yellow. I'm on a little bit of a health drive at the moment. I need to lose some weight. So talking about cake is not good. It's a tease. You're teasing me. And we are going to get a little bit of braking because although we're being crossed over with a 50-mile-an-hour crossover, what we've got to remember is we are ultimately still approaching a red signal. So we'll release that there. We're expecting 1 static yellow and a junction indicator at the next signal. What's the worst mistake you've made while you're driving? I overshot a station once. That was not great. Yeah, I took a wrong route with a 12-car train full of Millwall fans at London Bridge and had to walk back through the train doing the walk of shame. That wasn't good either. Okay, 1 yellow, position 5 junction indicator. We are now approaching a red, which is going to be at the end of the platform at Watford Junction. I tell you how bad it's got, Connor. We had Subway for lunch today at work. Ethan very kindly went to Subway for me with Helen. Very kind of them. And I only had a 6-inch. Not a foot long. That's how bad it's got. Oh, come on. Treacle Sponge, come on. What are you doing to me? Someone said we didn't have neutral sections. That sounded like a neutral section we've just gone over. I don't think it was. I think it was just me manipulating the controls. I know, Connor. Absolutely not. Really, it's not good. Right, we've got a stepped banner repeater as we come into Watford Junction. Both of them are in the horizontal position, which means the signal is at danger. Aiming for about 10 miles an hour at the AWS magnet. Again, that's going to be down to your individual company's operating instructions. Red ahead, red ahead, red ahead. This Railtour stops here and then it is fast to Milton Keynes. Ignoring the fact we have a 66 on the back, we are going to do 110 miles an hour. Okay, ignoring the fact we have a 66 and Mark II rolling stock, we are still going to do 110 miles an hour. Oh, Whiskey 92 at West Croydon, Connor, was epic. How could I forget? That's not something we can talk about publicly, but what happens in the season stays in the season. Right, I'm not sure how long this train is, so we'll just go all the way to the end of the platform. I think it would be really good. I mean, obviously I'm using free roam mode here. We do have some scenarios with Railtours, and one of the things you have got in the game, of course, is you've got the diorama feature, where you get like outside coffee shops and stuff like that. It'd be really good if they use that diorama feature to put a lot of railway enthusiasts and cameras and tripods on the platform when you're running Railtour services. I think that would be a really, really nice feature. Okay, it is going to tell me objective complete, which is absolutely fine. There's no point opening the doors because it's not going to do anything. Right, Set path. Let's go north to Milton Keynes. And this rail tour is terminating at Milton Keynes, so we'll cross over to... Now, what are you going to route me? Up the fast or up the slow? Or nothing at all? Yes, so it is going to cross me over, but it looks like the signal has pulled the road off for something else to come through. Yeah, there's a Pendolino coming through. Gives us an opportunity to listen to these new Pendolino passing sounds. At least the fog has subsided a bit. What platform should we do it from? Let's move down a bit, because all I can hear is the our loco. I think the Pendolino might be stopping. The graphics on this are very good. I had a little play yesterday on an industry simulator, shall we say, and graphics-wise, Train Sim World is much better. Hey, I'm good, Sam. British Ace, how are you doing, my friend? Good to see you. We'll, I tell you what, if I put my master switch to neutral, that will shut down the traction motor blowers, or whatever's making that noise, the transformer. That is quite a sight, I must say. That is quite a sight. Right, come on, get that thing out of here. It's holding us up. We're waiting to go. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Dabra, the fog is gone, but now it's snowing. Oh, snow I can deal with. Snow's pretty, fog's not. The snow is fine. The snow is fine. Come on, come on. Right, whilst we're waiting for that to go.
Post your numbers now for Locomotive Livery Location.
Let's get some numbers in. BMW M3 Touring. What happens if your pantograph is under the neutral wire and you stop? You hope that you're going to release the brakes and the train's going to roll because it's on a slight gradient. You hope it's going to roll forward because rolling backwards is a whole nother lot of problems that you don't want to be dealing with. But if it doesn't roll, then effectively you're going to have to get assistance to the front or the rear of the train. So you're going to have to get another unit to couple onto your diesel loco to give you a shove. If you are driving a Hitachi 800 thing, though, they've got diesel engines, so you're normally pretty good to go. Right, okay, on the numbers. We're going with Amy. You're the third one on the screen this time with number 7.
Let's play Locomotive Livery Location.
Here we go, going to give you box number 7, 10 seconds for that Locomotive Livery Location, if you can. Does it help? Where is it? What is it? Let me know your thoughts in the chat, as always. That sounds like a Desi. Hopefully this Pendolino is going to go pretty soon. Let's just check the information screen. 32, yeah, any minute. And then once that... Oh, there's another Desi there as well. Oh, we're going to get bold. We're going to get virtually bold. Frame rate's suffering a little bit. It's getting a little bit jumpy there. Jake has gone 37 Dawlish. BMW M3 37 London North Western Railway and West Coast Mainline. Richie Rouses, that's a train. Right, let's listen to these Pendo sounds. frame rate is really suffering here. Excellent stuff. Someone was just saying they're taking Spaceful. They're taking their time at the station to hold your signal. Could have released your train by now. Yeah, but this is real life, and that doesn't happen. A booked train will always take priority. Come on, come on, come on. One yellow, one yellow, one yellow. Lewis Gates, the snow is looking to be quite fit. Network Rail may need to monitor that. It'll be fine. It has come down rather quick though. All we can see is snow on the top of the rails. Yeah, that's fine. Come on, it's my turn now. Otherwise I'm going to have to start removing trains so we can get moving. Pretty please. Come on. Hey! We've got one yellow. We've got a position at 1 junction indicator. Right. Oh, have I just overloaded the train? Oh, crikey. Right, let's have another go. Oh, I'm not doing very well here. Right, okay, we need to drive to the conditions. Let's manually notch it. Brakes are released. We'll have to hand notch it to get it going. But we are moving, and our 1 yellow stepped up to a green, which is much better. Didn't really want to be departing on 1 yellow because it means we'd be creeping looking for the red. And just keeping an eye on the gauges there. Hey, Captain Duxie, welcome to Denver. Only subscriber, great to have you here. Someone was saying about DRA there. Yeah, not like 66s now are not fitted with DRA. It's not kind of, you don't have to have it. I don't know quite what the criteria is. But yeah, these definitely won't have been fitted with it. Has anyone ever had the dynamic weather on in this game where the snow's melted and it's turned out nice and clear? I don't think I've ever seen that. I think I've seen it go from clear to snow, but never the other way. Hello, Captain Duxie. Yes, great to have you. Hey, thank you for subscribing. We do have 132 of you lovely people watching, so if you haven't already, please do hit the like button and consider subscribing. That would be absolutely brilliant. Child number 2 walking past. Child number 1 is in Thailand at the moment. Not that I'm jealous or anything, I promise. W4LT, did you watch the Hornby 2025 range launch next week? I did not, no. I've just had my Hornby Black 5 with steam generator turn up, which was absolutely lovely. And the only other thing I've got on pre-order from Hornby at the moment is a Stadler Flirt. But I am tempted to cancel that because if I'm being perfectly honest, it's quite an expensive model and there's other things I want to buy. So. Sam, normally freight locos don't have DRAs, but modern locos that would have done freight and now do tours have them. Yeah, exactly that. DJ, I have had clear to snow, then wipers fail on the London commuter route. Oh, brilliant. Love the fact the anti-slip brakes on this work as well. That really is pretty cool. Again, if you weren't here earlier when we were coming through Primrose Hill Tunnel, the headlight is on, and the lighting level in the tunnel here is pretty normal. Not sure the kind of sparking and arcing and glitching is normal. That's a little bit all over the place. So I am going to be making a video in the next few weeks about Train Sim World and about my opinions on the future of Train Sim World and where I think the game should go and what features the game needs and stuff like that. So it's only going to sort of be 10 minutes, but rather than me rabbiting on sort of random bits on a stream where I talk about the game and what features I would like to see and stuff, I thought it'd be nice to condense that into a video. So I'll give you my opinions on it, and it'd be interesting to hear yours. So keep having a look at that. Ian, lots of adverts coming through. So I've got it set for YouTube to choose when the adverts go on. It's all automatic, but if they're, I might change it back to manual if they're a bit too thick and fast. Right, let's get some power in. We are at 80% power, that's good going. Train boy, do you have a hot drink in the cab with you? Absolutely, in real life, yeah. And a lot of locos, a lot of freight locos got hot plates in them. Yeah, this has got a hot plate in it over there. So if you've got like a camping kettle, you can fill that with water. Take a bottle of water with you. Get a brew on the go. As my friend Helen says, no tea, no train. British Ace, CDRA needs to be a thing. Absolutely, yeah, just dispatch would make a big difference, having realistic dispatch. $755 is supposedly shipping anytime in February, so it might be worth looking into that pre-order cancellation. It's going to be as soon as that, yeah. We're holding 70 quite nicely now, so what the other consideration we're going to need to make is driving a train when snow is being disturbed by the passage of trains. There is the potential for the brake rigging to freeze up or snow to become compacted in the brake rigging, and then the brakes become ineffective. So we would be looking to do a running brake test every 3 to 5 minutes. Just to keep the brakes warm. Oh, she's slipping. So we will do a running brake test in a minute. Struggling to get that into Wakefield. It keeps chucking the power back. There we go. It's taking it into Wakefield. Full steam ahead. DC87. Great to see you too. Amy, I'd look after the 755. Train boy, the train is cancelled due to the driver having no tea or coffee. Well, you say that, I think it's happened. Stephen, I'm good. How are you, my friend? I think we're absolutely going to have to do a flyby shot when we get down to... I have no idea what the names of the stations are on this route, but we should do a flyby shot. Makes it a bit easier in the 86, 87. What are we in? 86, 87. Keep getting them mixed up. No vigilance. And that's the fastest 66 you'll ever see. Definitely shouldn't be doing this with the 66 on the back. Olympian Transport. No, I haven't got any APT models. The APT is an interesting time in history. Definitely an interesting time in history. Point A rail. This was Apsley. I know a few of the stations. Is it Tring, Hemel Hempstead, Bletchley? There's a few others. I know there's quite a few stations. 66. 60 warning board there if we're crossing over, which we're not, so that's fine. Captain Duxley, have you ever been to Clamfair? Clamfair Parky Gong Go 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 Go. Yes, I can spell that. Yes, I'm well. Do you know what? Funny story. So if you check my TikTok and my YouTube shorts, you'll see me at that station. Found it by accident, and I honestly mean that. So me and my wife went to Bala in Wales last year, towards the end of last year, with some friends of ours. We had a day out at the Welsh Highland Railway, which was absolutely lovely. Didn't do the Festiniog, unfortunately. But we were looking for model shops, and we'd been to... Oh, I can't remember the name of the place. We'd been somewhere, and I said, oh, there's a model shop about 20 minutes away, Mona's Models or something like that. So we decided to drive to Mona's Models and have a look. Got there and it was closed. So we turned left into this car park to turn around to go back to where we'd come from, and there it was, Clamfair PG. It's like, or Llanfair PG I should say. It's like, wow, just found it by accident. Someone told me it didn't have neutral sections. We have just gone through a neutral section. You lied. But you are forgiven. Definitely has a neutral section. Right, so bearing in mind that we've just lost all of our power notches, we'll have a little bit of a running brake test. The Pi train depends on how it's configured. The 60 board with the AWS go off. To be fair, it probably wouldn't. It would probably... You'd have the flashing yellows and the 60 boards. You'd get the AWS would go off for the flashing yellows, and you'd get the 60 board at the same time. So yeah, probably not, to be fair. Oh, Train Boy's starting on the jokes. What did the electric train say to the steam train? You need to stop smoking. I'm debating whether that should get a rim shot or a sad trombone. Or... yeah, I think we'll go with the second one. Trains at the station, they've updated it. It's the first time I played this route for a little while. The performance on it does seem to be a lot better than I remember it being. No worries, Captain Duxy. Thanks very much for joining us, my friends. Enjoy making music. Radio 20 miles to Milton Keynes, where this Railtour and stream will terminate. So let's do it.
Post your numbers now for Locomotive Livery Location.
Get those numbers in between 1 and 36 in the chat. Let's have another go at Locomotive Livery Location. Lewis, do I think Train Sim World should have PIS and CIS announcements? Yes, absolutely it should. SCR on Roblox does the announcement. I mean, the announcements are far too over the top on that. They get annoying, but yeah, I absolutely do think it should. We do have them, don't we, on Fife Circle and Edinburgh Glasgow. So it can be done. Okie dokie on the numbers. Jake, you were the first one. Jazil, nice to see you in a stream again. You're the second one. Trains at the station, you're third with number 19.
Let's play Locomotive Livery Location.
Here we go, guys. Number 19. 10 seconds for the Locomotive Livery Location, if you can. What are your thoughts? What is it? Where is it? Oh, Amy. Manager says, you're the worst train driver ever. How many times have you derailed this year? Driver, I'm not sure. It's hard to keep track.
No!
I just don't know what to say. Springtrap class 55 over Shap. Jake, 37 Dawlish. It's the sleeper train, I think. John Ward, I learned how to say clan fair when I visited the station back in 1979. For such an infamous station with a name like that, I think it's a request stop as well. It has hardly any traffic going through it. Right, we are approaching 100. Well, we're actually going to be over 110 in a moment, so let's get the power off. Gonna have to give it a little rubber brake. The Homer sound caught me off guard. Jump scared out. Oh, I do apologise for that. Definitely a West Coast Railway 37 with Mark IIs. I assume the one in May last year to Swallish with Pathfinder, the Dawlish with Pathfinder. Springtrap, do you drive class 73s? I do, yeah. Lovely, lovely locomotives to drive. Right, we are approaching a station. Let's see if we can get a decent flyby shot. I think we've given ourselves enough time here. Hopefully something bad won't happen and the train stops. Cheddington. I think the next one after Cheddington is Leighton Buzzard. Nice. Amy, the platform isn't that long either. The sign is almost as long as the platform. You're probably right, Amy, to be fair. Pick and Bob, my guess for Locomotive Location deliveries, West Coast Railway 37 at Dawlish Sea Wall. No worries, Captain Duxie. Hope to see you in another stream soon, my friend. Enjoy making music. Is it me or if we got updated sky texture as well? Because the clouds in the sky actually look really nice. It does look pretty nice. Okay, we've only got 11 miles to Milton Keynes. We are getting there. Like I say, Saturday night should be interesting. 20:30 backwards to Brighton. I am going to get an advertisement and a link to the stream set up after we finish this one. So do look out for that. Put it on your waiting list. I'll make sure I put announcements out on Discord and the social media as well when that goes live. Yeah, what could possibly go wrong driving a train backwards and Hudless all the way to Brighton? And I want to get a platinum medal for it as well. Could it be done? Of course it can be done. We can do it. It can be done. We can make it work. Right, we've got a 90-mile-an-hour restriction just coming up, so we're going to have to give it a little rubber brake. Richie Rout is very atmospheric. Amy, no, there's no mods on this. This is native game. No mods on this whatsoever. I'd agree, though. It's looking... The lighting and the snow is... It's looking very nice. Another round of locomotive. Louis Trains, hello. Another round of locomotive location. Go on then. Go on then.
Post your numbers now for Locomotive Livery Location.
I think we can turn that wiper off now because the rain has... Oh, that's the brake overcharge button. It does look pretty. It does look pretty. Right, what have we got? The numbers are coming in quickly. Right, third number on my screen. Jake, you've got it again, my friend. You're the third one in there with number 4.
Let's play Locomotive Livery Location.
Here we go, number 4, 10 seconds. Locomotive Livery Location if you can. And don't forget, this is the 100th Locomotive Livery Location, which means we've done more than 100 streams because I have reused some of them cheekily. I think the sky looks pretty good, Harry, but yeah, everyone's entitled to their own opinion there. But yeah, I think it looks pretty good. Train boy, final joke. What did the class 47? What did the class 43 say to the class 800? You crack me up. Right, 2 flashing yellows. Power off without running down. That's bad. Do you know what, train boy? And what did the class 800 say back?
Emotional damage.
You deserve one of these.
If you see something that doesn't look right, report it to a member of staff or text the British Transport Police on 610...
All together now.
See it, say it, sort it.
See it, say it, sort it. Richie Rail, I don't get it. I'll let someone else explain that. Pig and Bob still singing with West WCR 37's Dawlish Seawall. Point A Rail, cracking joke. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Right, we have got one yellow with junction indicator position 4. We've stepped up to a green, lovely, so we are 60 across the crossing. We're doing 60, we can release that as we go across. Neutral section. I think. Maybe not, maybe it's just me. We're going to see it snake its way across the points now. Beautiful. Onto the down slow as we approach Milton Keynes, 4 miles out. Oh, I don't know, folks. These jokes they're getting worse. They're genuinely getting worse. Right, we've got 4 miles to 3.7 miles to go. I think we'll get a little bit of speed. I reckon we'll have one more round of Locomotive Location Livery before the game's up. And then it is off to bed for me because I've got an early start in the morning. Got to be in London at about 6:30 in the morning, so yeah, lovely stuff. But it is Friday, hey! And of course, Friday is Poets' Day. And if you don't know what Poets' Day is, it's nothing to do with poets. It's an acronym for Proceed Off Early Tomorrow's Saturday. Only the first word isn't proceed. And I could use the beep up, but it doesn't work. Okie dokie, 2 yellows, 2.6 miles out. Let's run that power back, start thinking about getting some braking. Let's have our final round. Go on.
Post your numbers now for Locomotive Livery Location.
Pendolino coming the other way. Last signal was 2 yellows. And we are in on the numbers. We have got Richie Rao, you're the first. Pointer Rao, you're second. Spaceful, you're the third number there with number 14.
Let's play Locomotive Livery Location.
And this will probably be your final round on this. Let's give you number 14. 10 seconds for the Locomotive Livery Location. You can. One yellow, we are red ahead. What is it? Where is it? I think most people have got this one now. If you do want to send me any pictures for Locomotive Location Livery, you can do, just like Trainboy has on Instagram. You can send them to me via my social media channels. Push off early, John. That's the one. Yes, definitely. You can send them to me on my social media channels, which are on the screen for you now. And we are red ahead. Never. Red signal is a brick wall, and you wouldn't run towards a brick wall. Does the stream look a bit jumpy to you guys, or does it look okay? I mean, the game is running buttery smooth, but I look over at Streamlabs and it looks a little bit jumpy, so... We are red ahead. There is an issue approaching red signals like this. Because we've slowed down, our perception of risk becomes lower. So therefore you tend not to focus as much. You start to let your mind wander a little bit, and therefore there's a danger that you then have a spat. Because by reducing your speed, it's almost like you've done all the hard work, you've removed the risk, but the risk is still very much there. The risk is present until the train stops. Jake 37 Dawlish, Sam 2 times 37 Dawlish, Laserjet West Coast Railway 37 Tractor Dawlish. Bonus points for the hauling the Spring Cornish Explorer. Sam, I was supposed to be on that tour. Did Cambria Coast instead. Cambria Coast is nice. The stream is fine for me. It appears fine. Oh, brilliant. Okay, we've got one yellow. We've got a position 6 junction indicator by the looks of it. That's going to take us into Milton Keynes. And now we need the next section of the West Coast Mainline to be made. We need Milton Keynes to Rugby, maybe. And then Rugby, we can have Rugby to Coventry and Birmingham International, through to Birmingham New Street to join up with the cross-city lines. So many possibilities. Yeah, position 4, 5 and 6 is illuminated there. So your junction indicators, as you look at the signal, position 1, 2 and 3 is off to the left, position 4, 5 and 6 to the right. That's my right. I know you're looking at me in the opposite direction, but... And Milton Keynes, where this rail tour will terminate. I think this has taken around 4.5 hours from when we left Eastbourne. I think we left Eastbourne game time at 10 o'clock, and I did try and start this scenario about the time we would have got to Acton Lane. It probably would have taken longer in real life because we would have been doing things properly and not just whacking locos on, and we certainly wouldn't have been doing 110. Okay, last signal was 1 yellow, reds at the end of the platform. Yeah, crew would be really good, and crew, Lola's dad, crew would be really good, and crew would open up a lot of possibilities for freight. Possibly look at some DRS stuff then. I mean, there is a rumour in the community that DRS 20s are coming from a screenshot that was shared. So maybe that's going to bring like nuclear flasks or something with it. Northampton Loop. Yeah, Northampton Loop would be a shout. I think crew would work really well because I mean, I think if you'd done crew, you went as far as crew, you could come out of Dagenham with the Garston train, the car train. You can come out of Dagenham, go along the Goblin to Gospel Oak. You can then join up with the North London line, which would be pretty cool. Take the North London line down to Euston, drop down from Euston into Wembley Yard, load up the West Coast Mainline, run all the way up to Crewe. That would be some awesome freight run. Oh my god, there's a cat. There's 4 of them here somewhere. I didn't want a cat and my wife did, so we compromised and got 4. That's married life. Oh, GJ, come on. Oh, I don't know. What did the train track say to the tree? I'm branching off. Pig and Bob, you left Eastbourne at 10:09, so 3 hours 55 minutes. That's pretty good going, to be fair. I think we're on the platform there, aren't we? No, not quite. Keep going, all the way to the end. Everybody off, this Railtour terminates here. I don't know why you would run a Railtour to Milton Keynes. I mean, does anyone want to visit Milton Keynes for a day out? That's probably not the best place to terminate. I think this would probably be going much further north. Just for you, Captain Duxie. That's my lovely wife. I was just telling them about the cat situation, that I didn't want any. Yeah, and you did, so we compromised and got 4.
We almost ran out of 2 the other day. But I said no.
We'll discuss that later. Depends whether I can extend the model railway or not. That's the compromise, you see. There we go, Milton Keynes Central, Pendolino arriving on the other side. And yeah, there we go. Right, that is the end of our rail tour. Hurrah, we made it. We're probably late as well, very late, because that's just the way these things go. That was most enjoyable, doing something a little bit different, making good use of the free roam mode. I just wish we had that for this circuit. I wish we had that little bit of the West London line, so we could actually do the platform 16 at Clapham Junction round to Euston. And I just think that would really add something to it, not having to miss any bits out. I mean, we could have jumped into Train Sim Classic and done that little bit, to be fair. But no, it's been really fun, and I like doing the shunting at Euston as well, something a bit different, and something that could have happened. So anyway,
let's play Locomotive Livery Location.
Thank you very much, GJ, for sending this one in. I think quite a few of you have got this right. Let's press the button.
It's time to reveal today's Locomotive Livery Location.
Yeah, lots to go on the top lines there for the location. West Coast Railways, Class 37s. And that looks like the Mark II Fs that used to belong to Riviera Trains. I've travelled on that set myself. Very nice coaches indeed. And a little mascot in the front of the 37 there. That's pretty cool. Not sure if that's like a Michelin Man or something like that. That's pretty cool. I need a mascot for my train. Do you think I should get a mascot to put in the windscreen of my train? I think I should. I think that's a good... A picture of my wife. There you go. Fantastic. Yeah, well done to everybody who got that right. So if you weren't here earlier on, this is the 100th Locomotive Livery Location picture we've done. If you weren't here earlier on, last week's picture was this one by Northern Princess Productions, class 92 at Carlisle. I said it was Carlisle. It wasn't Carlisle. It was in fact Edinburgh Waverley. There was a full steward's inquiry and everything else into that, so my apologies if you weren't here earlier. I did announce it earlier. We need like a, we would like to apologise. There's no delay repay compensation or anything like that, I'm afraid, but yeah, that is not Carlisle, it's Edinburgh Waverley. Anyway, that is enough of me rabbiting on. If you have enjoyed yourselves, that is absolutely brilliant. Thank you very much for joining me. Please do hit the like button, consider subscribing, that would be absolutely awesome. Next stream on the channel will be on Saturday 2030, which is backwards to Brighton. I'm thoroughly looking forward to that. What could possibly go wrong? Famous last words. Right, let's press this button there. Hopefully the end music is going to work, because I have been trying to fix this. I don't know if you can hear any music or not. No? Okay. It is what it is. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. Thank you to the moderators. Thank you to all my channel members. See you very soon in another video. Thank you very much for watching, and bye for now.